Hello everyone, welcome to day 26 of September LeetCode Challenge, and today's question is transform to chessboard. In this question, we are given a grid of size n cross n, and each cell in the board can have either a 0 or a 1 value. We need to find out the minimum number of swaps or moves needed to transform this board into a chessboard. And in case if it is not possible, we have to return -1. Also, there is a condition given in the question that in each move you can swap any two rows or any two columns with each other. We need to tell the minimum number of moves in order to transform this grid into a chessboard. The question seems pretty simple and straightforward, easy to understand. However, it genuinely sucks. I have been banging my head from past 4 hours and I personally was not able to solve this question. Therefore, I went ahead and did some research online. I tried to collate all the points that were mentioned in those posts, and I'll try to share those points and the algorithm to best of my knowledge. Hope you are able to get maximum out of the video. Now let's look at the presentation. Also, I would like to highlight another point. If you witness this question in any of your interview or you're yourself not able to come up with the algorithm, don't get disheartened. This problem is based on mathematics and involves complicated thought process. So I would urge you guys not to lose hope or get disheartened if it doesn't work for you. Consider this as one bad problem or just one bad day. Continue the progress that you have been making, just ignore this question. Now, for those who are interested in seeing the solution, moving on to the PPT. Transform to chessboard, LeetCode 782. It's a hard question on LeetCode, and I would rate it into the highest of higher hard category. Let's try and understand the question. The question says we are given a grid of zeros and ones. We need to identify the minimum number of moves needed to transform this grid into a chessboard. How will we perform the transformation? In each move, you can either replace or swap any two columns with each other or any two rows with each other. For example, if this is the input grid that is given to us, in the first move we will replace the 0th column with the first column. So these two gets swapped, these two get swapped, these two get swapped, and these two get swapped. What is the updated matrix? It's 1 0 1 0 0 1 0 1, and the rest of the two columns remains the same. In the second move, what we are going to do, we'll replace the first row with the second row. So these two get swapped, these two get swapped, these two get swapped, these two get swapped. The updated grid is something like this: 1 0 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 1 0 0 1 0 1, and this forms a chessboard. How many moves did we make? We made 2 moves, and this becomes the answer. Also, there was another example quoted in the question. If the input grid is given something like this: 0 1 1 0, we don't need to do any swaps. Similarly, what could be the other possible scenario for the chessboard? It could be 1 0 0 1. The starting element of the chessboard can be a 0 or a 1, and it will have alternate elements as we progress in the column or in the row. Let's try and understand few properties of chessboard now. So let's write the complete row in string format. The first row is 1 0 1 0. The second row will happen to be complementary of the first row, 0 1 0 1. Then the third row will be complementary of the second row. It would be 1 0 1 0 1 0. And the fourth row would be complementary of the third one. It will become 0 1 0 1. What do you analyze here? You can see two types of rows, one represented by R and the other one represented by inverse of that row. Similarly, if the first row is R, the third one will be R, and if the second row was inverse of R, the fourth one will be inverse of R again. Let's walk through in the column wise fashion as well. Let me just erase it. We have C as 1 0 1 0. The second column in the chessboard would be 0 1 0 1. The third one would be inverse of the second one, that would become 1 0 1 0, and the fourth one would be inverse of the third row, that would become 0 1 0 1. As you can see that the first column and the third column are bound to match. Similarly, the fourth and the second column are bound to match. So there are two types of rows possible. One is R, the other one is inverse of R. Similarly, there are two types of columns possible, C and inverse of C. Any two rows or any two columns are either the same or the inverted one in a chessboard. We can conclude this. Let's try and draw few inferences from the previous analysis. If the board can be transformed in the chessboard, for any two rows in the board, the cells between them must be either same or all inverted. It says that it should be either R or R bar. If for some rows, some of the elements are inverted while some of the elements are same, then we cannot transform this grid into the chessboard by swapping. It means that let's assume in the R dash row, some of the elements corresponds to R type and other corresponds to R bar type. The transformation is not possible. How can we mathematically express this? The relationship of items in the current column between the current row and the first row should be consistent with the relationship of first item between the current row and the first row. Hence, what do? We compare the board of R, 0 with the board of 0, 0. We calculate the XOR and then we compare it with the XOR of board of R, C, board of 0, C. And once we have these two expressions, we perform the XOR of both of them. If the answer comes out to be true or greater than 1, then we simply return -1. So let me just reiterate it and I'll try to take few examples to give you a better idea of it. Let's take an example of a row where R happens to be equal to 1, and we will iterate over all the columns that exist in that grid. So from the first expression, we have board of 1, 0 with board of 0, 0. So board of 1, 0 with 0, 0. The relationship between these two elements should be the same as board of 1, 1, 0, 1. What is 1, 1? This one. And what is 0, 1? This one. Similarly, the relationship should be the same as 1, 2, 0, 2. 1, 2, 0, 2. These two elements. The relationship should be the same as 3, 0, 3 and 1, 3. Similarly, you keep on going till you don't witness n, up till n. You do it for all values of R. In this case, we moved row wise. Ideally, we should have gone column wise as well, and for each row we would have computed a similar relation. However, the XOR operation is cumulative and associative in nature. So in this expression itself, we have calculated that value for each R, for each C, and this expression remains the same. Therefore, we don't need to reiterate it again. Let's try and understand few properties of chessboard. This R and the bar R we have already discussed in the past. Let's take few cases on the basis of value of n. For example, when n is given to us as even, it will have number of zeros and number of ones in the first row should be n by 2. Similarly, the number of ones and the number of zeros in the first column should be n by 2. For the case when n is odd, the number of ones in the first row can be n by 2. In that case, the number of zeros would be n by 2 plus 1. For the case where the number of zeros in the first column happens to be n by 2, the number of ones in the first row would be n by 2 plus 1. This condition holds true for all rows and columns. For both the cases, n equals to even and n equals to odd. Also, I would like to highlight one more point before moving on to the coding part, where I'll explain the rest of the algorithm. The fact is, if the minimum number of swap needed for making the grid in the format of a chessboard that starts with 0 is x, then the number of swaps needed to make this grid start with 1 would be n minus x for column and for rows, and we need to select the minimum one out of these two. The swaps needed to make the chessboard start with 0 and to make the chessboard start with 1. Just remember this point as well. Now let's move on to the coding section, where I'll explain the rest of the algorithm. I have attached the references of the few articles from where I extracted the code algorithm. Here we have defined four variables. N stands for board length, column moves needed, the number of column moves needed, the number of row moves needed, the number of ones in first row, and the number of ones in first column. We iterate over the complete grid. The first one is for the row iteration, the second one is for column iteration, and we first calculate the XOR of the 0, 0th element on the board with ith, 0th element in the board. This is the first part of the XOR operation. The second part is board of I, j, XOR board of 0, j, and then we perform the XOR of the two computed values. If it happens to be equal to 1, we simply abort the process and return -1. It's exactly the same algorithm that I discussed in the presentation as well. Now we will move ahead and we iterate over the rows and the columns, and we calculate the number of ones in first row and the number of ones in first column so as to generate a particular pattern. I'll talk about these two sections in the later part, but let's look at these two conditions. If the number of ones in the first row happens to be less than n by 2, or the number of ones in the first row happens to be greater than n plus 1 by 2, this is for the even case, this is for the odd case. In both these cases, it's not possible to transform this into a chessboard. We return -1. Similarly, if the number of ones in the first column happens to be less than n by 2 for the even case, and number of ones in the first column happens to be greater than n plus 1 by 2, there is no way we can transform this into a chessboard as per the n by 2 and n by 2 plus 1 conditions. Therefore, we need to return -1. Next, we go ahead and calculate the value of row moves needed in the worst case, in the maximum case. If the ith index happens to be odd, then I go ahead and update the value of row moves needed by 1. So in this way we identify the maximum number of swaps needed in the grid and the maximum number of column moves needed in the grid. Now let's talk about the last mathematical expression. If n happens to be even, then we find out the minimum number of column moves needed. That would be equal to math.min column moves needed, comma n minus column moves needed. So whatever value of column moves needed you have calculated, you compare column moves needed, comma n minus column moves needed for the grid starting with 0 in first, and the other case would be for the grid starting with 1 first. Similarly, for the row moves needed will be equal to math.min row moves needed, comma n minus row moves needed. And let's talk about the other case where n is odd. If n is odd, we check if column moves needed happens to be odd, then we update it with n minus column moves needed because it would be of lower value. Similarly, if row moves needed happens to be odd, we update it with row moves needed equals to n minus row moves needed value because it will be of lower amount. In the end, we simply add these two up and divide by 0 because you have in each move you can actually swap 2 rows or 2 columns. Therefore, it gets reduced by a factor of 2. Let's try this up. Accepted. The time complexity for this approach is order of n square by virtue of this, and for the rest of the operations we have just iterated over the matrix once, and these were mathematical formulas. This brings me to the end of today's session. I hope you liked it. I tried my best to explain the logic to you. If you liked it, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for viewing it. Have a great day ahead and stay tuned for more updates from Coding Decoded. I'll see you tomorrow with another fresh question. But till then, goodbye.